Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu einer weiteren Folge Fate Stay Night Remastered. Shiro wurde in der letzten Folge umgebracht, wiederbelebt oder wieder fast umgebracht. Und jetzt steht ein Mädchen bzw. eine Frau in einer Rüstung vor ihm. Super Tag, sagt man dazu. I'm speechless. And it's not because I'm confused by all the things that just happened. The girl before me is so astonishingly beautiful that I'm at a loss for words. The girl's eyes, like precious jewels, stare at me without emotion. Her voice sounds so valiant. Master? I can only repeat her words back to her. I don't understand what she is saying, nor do I know who she is. All I know is that the slender, delicate-looking girl is similar to the man outside. She says nothing, continuing to look at me in silence. I don't know how to describe her. She's special. So special that I forgot entirely about the man outside, even though he might attack at any moment. Time seems to have stopped. Even the fear of death I had felt moments ago vanishes, and there's only the girl standing before me. It's the second time she speaks, and the moment I hear the word master and the name Saber echoes in my ears. Hey! Saber summoned. Become Saber's Master habe ich freigeschaltet. Woohoo! Oof, pain shots through my left hand. It's hot, like being branded by an iron. I unconsciously press the back of my left hand, taking that as a sign the girl silently nods her beautiful head. What? Contract for what? I'm still a mage in training, so I understand what those words mean. But the girl doesn't respond to my questions. She simply looks away with the same grace she had shown when she nodded. She turns towards the shed's ruined door. Outside, the man readies his spear. She moves faster than expected. The girl in knight's armor leaps out of the shed without hesitation. What? I forget about the pain I feel, and I get up to follow her. She can't possibly go up against that guy. Doch, sie kann. Sie kann ohne Probleme. No matter how heavily armored she is, she's smaller than I am. Ja und? Sie würde dich trotzdem platt machen ohne Probleme? Stop. The echoing clang drowns out my words. What? I can't believe what I'm seeing. My head really does go blank this time. Who the hell is she? The clash of swords echoes around me. The moon slips behind the clouds and the yard grows dark once again, and within the darkness sparks fly as steel strikes steel. Ich möchte auch was sehen. Without saying a word, the spear-wielding man meets the girl who leaped from the shed. She parries his spear and knocks away his other successive attacks, driving him back with each attack. I can't believe it. This girl, Saber, is somehow overpowering the man. The battle has begun. What happened between that man and I earlier doesn't even count as a battle. A battle, that's a fight between two people, each able to kill the other. No matter the difference in ability, it can still be called a battle as long as both are able to kill the other. In that sense, these two are fighting a battle. The man attacks her, swinging his spear so quickly I can't even see his strikes. Somehow. She parries his every attack perfectly, with something as she closes in on him. The man backs up slightly, clicking his tongue hatefully. He holds his spear vertically to ward off her attacks on his side. Oh, das ist ein richtig geiles Bild. Also ich finde diese Bilder echt sehr geil. For a moment his spear glows. His attack almost looks like it caused an explosion. The man's spear sparks as if electrified every time whatever weapon the girl is wielding strikes it. The man and I both could tell what it is. It's furious magical energy, so dense it can actually be seen. Her attacks are charged with incredible amount of magical energy. The unbelievable amount of magical energy crackles along her opponent's weapons every time they make contact. The sheer force of her attacks must be staggering. If the man's spear strikes are precise, like a sniper rifle, her blows must be like the overpowering blast of a shotgun. Each of the girl's attacks bathed the yard in flickering light. And yet, that's not what's overpowering the man. The man curses at the girl as he evades her unrelenting attack. She doesn't respond other than to step up her attacks with her invisible weapon. The man retreats, having hardly as much as a chance to counterattack. Her weapon is invisible. Without being able to determine the weapon's range, it would be reckless to go in for an attack. That's the trouble with an invisible weapon. But she's definitely got something in her hand. I can't make out anything of its shape or length. Maybe it's transparent to begin with. No matter how many times sparks fly from it, I never get a look at the weapon's profile. Parrying her strikes must be taking a lot out of the man. His movements aren't as sharp as they had been. It's the first sound the girl makes. She attacks all the more furiously. It's a merciless unyielding dance of blades. The flying sparks remind me of a blacksmith striking iron, and the spear-wielding man continues defending himself as he disapprovingly clicks his tongue. Honestly, I can't help but to admire the man, even though he tried to kill me. He is able to defend himself from an invisible weapon, relying only on reading the girl's swings and footworks. But that's all he can do. When an opponent is so completely on defense, the only thing you need to do is beat them down. The girl steps in closer. She smashes down, striking with all her might. Seeing his chance, the man disappears. Or rather, he retreats back as if to disappear. The girl's swing cuts through the air and smashes into the ground, kicking up dust. Her massive swing, which seemed to be a fatal blow against the cornered spearman, proved easy to dodge. That fool, what the hell is she thinking? Smokescreen? Funktioniert sehr gut. Even I could tell what happened, and even at this distance. Her careful, precise attacks area may have worn the man down, but the tremendous swing meant to deal with the finishing blow wouldn't ever touch him. The relentless attacks must have put incredible strain on the man's body as he tried to defend himself. Yet, she suppressed that pain for a single moment to jump away. He knew that her last attack would determine the victor. The man jumps back several meters and comes into strike once again. The moment his feet touches the ground, he jumps in a triangular pattern and leaps towards the girl as if revisiting his steps. The girl's sword is still embedded in the ground. It's a fatal opening. Nur wenn man dagegen nichts ändern kann. The red spear returns in less than a second. The girl twists her body around like a top, while her sword is still embedded in the ground. The whole thing happens in a matter of seconds. The man sees his mistake and tries to correct, as the girl uses a brief moment to use her whole body to attack. Both the man and the girl seem unsatisfied though. Both struck intending to kill. Both survived, so everything leading to this moment was in vain. The two open a bit of distance between themselves. They both just quietly stare at each other. The strain the battle inflicted on them seems to be too much. Oh. Das ist auch ein... Oh, die Bilder sind so geil gemacht. Her phrase is, his question is bluntly. He glares as if trying to look through her. Somehow, this conversation seems to be amusing him. The man called Lancer briefly lowers his spear. It looks as if he is saying he doesn't want to fight anymore. The girl seems puzzled by Lancer's move, but I know what the stance means. I remember the fight at school a few hours ago. It's a killer move that was supposed to have ended the battle. The air wavers. The surroundings appear to distort. Lancer lowers his stance. A chill creeps into the air. The same thing happened earlier. Magical energy rumbles as it forms a vortex at the tip of the spear. The girl readies her weapon and glares at her enemy. I don't need to speak up. She knows very well how dangerous the enemy is. She is the one in confronting him. The beast kicks the ground. Lancer appears in front of the girl so quickly he may as well have teleported. He takes the spear and aims at her feet. Ich habe gerade den Namen des Speers vergessen, das ärgert mich. Even to me that seems like a poor choice. I can't see any way an attack would be effective with the spear pointed at the ground in front of her. Das ist das Ding bei dem Angriff. Apparently thinking the same, the girl leaps over the spear toward Lancer, intent on striking him down. But at that moment... Gay Borg. His words alone radiate immense magical energy. Gay Borg war das. The spear released from below angles towards the girl's heart. Her body hangs in the air. The blow sends her flying in a wide arc. She smashes heavily into the ground. She is bleeding. She had been unscathed until now, but her heart is pierced, and she is bleeding profusely. Das sieht mir so aus, als würde sie aber rechts halten. Links ist eigentlich das Herz. I'm just as bewildered. But watching from afar may have given me a better perspective on how bizarre the attack was. Warte mal, wird jetzt schon der Name gedroppt von Lancer? Ich bin mir gerade nicht sicher. The spear had been aimed at her feet. I'm sure of that. But then, it just changed direction, moving and stretching impossibly to pierce the girl's heart. And yet, the spear itself neither stretched nor changed direction. It seemed bizarrely, as if the spear had been thrust into her chest from the beginning, almost naturally. It wasn't as simple as the spear changing its trajectory and piercing the heart. The spear didn't change course. It altered truth itself to make that happen. The moment he spoke those words and released his spear, the intent of piercing her heart had been realized. Essentially, his attack reversed cause and effect. The result of the attack piercing the victim's heart is predetermined, so the spear's trajectory is merely an afterthought to establish its effects. It's a demonic splinter that breaks through all defenses. The moment it determines the target, the spear pierces the heart every time it's used, without exception. How can anyone defend against such a completely insane attack? No matter what effort the target makes to evade, the spear will always pierce the heart, which makes it fatal. An accursed spear that always pierces the opponent when used. However, the girl evades by a hairbreadth. The spear did penetrate her, but it didn't hit anything right. Her actions in evading the spear seemed even more impossible than the spear itself. The moment the spear was thrust, the girl turned in reverse direction with an incredible effort of will and strength, as if she knew what was going to happen. She was either incredibly lucky or had just enough protection to dampen the spear's curse. Whatever it is, the girl manages to avoid the fatal blow and so survives Lancer's ultimate attack. The girl tries to get her labored breathing under control. Although she had been losing a lot of it, blood stops seeping from her wound, and even the wound itself is closing up. So this is what a truly extraordinary person can do. I knew she wasn't normal, but she is more than outstanding. In terms of her skills in the fight against Lancer, in terms of the incredible amount of magical energy used for every attack, her body recovering on its own, she is obviously superior to Lancer. But that's only up until now. She may be healing even now, but her wounds are deep. If Lancer attacks now, she won't be able to defend herself. And yet, even though he is at an overwhelming advantage, Lancer doesn't move. He audibly grinds his teeth, and he glares at the girl. His voice seems to rumble up from the ground itself. Ah, es wird doch gedroppt. Es wird doch jetzt schon gedroppt. Irlands Kind des Lichtes. Kutschelane. Lancer's expression darkens. Kofullen wird es, glaube ich, sogar ausgesprochen. Kofullen. Nicht Kutschelane, sondern Kofullen wird, glaube ich, sein Name tatsächlich ausgesprochen. Wenn ich es gerade richtig im Kopf habe. His hostility dissipates, and he clicks his tongue in annoyance. The oppressive mood lightens. Lancer no longer seems to have an intent of attacking the wounded girl. He turns his back and as he walks into the corner of the yard. どちらかが消えるまでやり合うのがサーバントのセオリーだが、あいにくうちの雇い主は臆病者でな。槍が交わされたのなら帰ってこいなんて抜かしやがる。逃げるのか、ランサー。ああ、追ってくるのなら構わんぞ、セイバー。ただし、その時は決死の覚悟を抱いてこい。He lightly bounces off the ground. It's a wonder how agile he can still be, but Lancer jumps effortlessly over the fence and disappears before anyone can stop him. The injured young girl turns around and starts running in pursuit. You've got to be kidding me. Across the yard as fast as I can. If I don't stop her, she will go after him and maybe get herself killed. It turns out I don't need to chase after her. She tries to jump over the wall, but the moment she crosses to jump, she doubles over and grabs her chest. I hurry over to check on her. Well, I had intended to just approach and call out to her, but that went right out of the window the moment I got near her. She is completely unbelievable. The shining silver armor she wears looks extremely heavy. The clothing she is wearing, dated as it is a bright vivid blue. I have never seen anything like that. No, her clothes are not what really enthralls me. She is absolutely beautiful. Her golden hair, illuminated by the moonlight, is extremely fine as spun gold. Her face is graceful with a trace of innocence, and her smooth white skin all but glows in the moonlight. I'm speechless. Her beauty completely takes my breath away. How did this happen? Seeing a girl wounded in a fight made me absolutely furious. Die ist immer noch einiges mächtiger als du. As I stand there gawking, the girl remains silent, her hand clamped over her chest. I manage to quit staring pretty quickly. She lifts her head and lets her hand fall from her chest, her pain seeming to have eased. She looks directly at me. I don't know quite how to respond to that gaze, but then I notice something. Your wound is gone? The spear missed her heart, but it did pierce her chest. yet there's no outward sign of a wound. I feared there's a kind of healing in magecraft, but she didn't seem to use anything like that. That must mean she can heal herself, no matter how wounded she is. My mind switches gear. I shouldn't be gawking at her. This girl is unbelievable, and I absolutely should not let my guard down around her until I know who she is and what's going on. Who the hell are you? I take half a step back as I ask the question. What do you mean? I'm
Saber のサーバントです。あなたが私を呼び出したのですから、確認をするまでもないでしょう。
Saber? Servant?
はい。ですから私のことはセーバーと。
She says it so casually. There's a touch of contempt in her tone, but it remains mostly gentle, and hearing her voice makes my head go blank. What? Why the hell am I getting agitated? I see. That's a weird name. I cover my burning face with a hand and respond stupidly, but I honestly don't know what else to say. Besides, how else would she respond when I just ask her what the hell she is, and it would be rude for me not to respond. I am Shiro. My name is Shiro Emiya, and I live here. There's something wrong with me. I'm saying the dumbest things. But well, she did give me her name, and it is only polite that I give her mine. I know I'm confused, but it's still important to remain rational, no matter who I'm dealing with. The girl, Saber, just keeps watching me in confusion. She moves not an inch. Forget all that. That's not what I was asking, is...
分かっています。あなたは正規のマスターではないのですね。しかし、それでもあなたは私のマスターです。契約を交わした以上、あなたを裏切りはしない。そのように警戒する必要はありません。
Crap. I hear her, but I couldn't be more lost. The only thing standing out to me is that she keeps referring to me as Master. You got it wrong. My name is not Master.
それでは素人。ええ、私としてはこの発音の方が好ましい。
Wie süß. The moment she said my name, I thought my face might actually burst into flames. Isn't it a bit more normal to call someone by their last name when you first met? Wait, why would you choose to address me that? Ouch. A strange sensation tingles through my left hand. It's hot. The back of my hand is burning. The command seals. A strange pattern appeared on the back of my left hand, like a tattoo. What?
それは令樹と呼ばれるものです、シロ。私たちサーバントを律する3つの命令権であり、マスターとしての命でもある。むやみな使用は避けるように。
On you?
シロ、傷の治療を。
Her tone is cold now. It seems she's not focused on me, but something else. Wait, are you asking me? Sorry, but I don't know how to use complicated magecraft like that, and you are already healed anyway. Saber frowns. I feel like I said something that disappoints her.
ではこのままで臨みます。自動修復は外面を覆っただけですが、あと一度の戦闘ならば支障はないでしょう。
One more battle? What do you mean?
外の敵は2人。この程度の重圧なら数秒で倒し得る相手です。
Das ist Mobbing gegenüber den beiden. Das ist Mobbing. Saber leaps over the wall effortlessly, just like Lancer. She makes it look easy. And now I'm just alone in the yard. Enemies outside? I realize what she means as soon as I say it. Wait, are you going to keep fighting? I move without thinking. I run as fast as I can towards the gate. I reach the gate, unlock it with trembling fingers and jump out. Saber, are you here? I strain to see in the darkness. Clouds have completely obscured the moon, leaving it pitch black now of all times. But I hear something nearby. There. I run to an empty pathway. It happens all in an instant. I see a familiar man in red and Saber fighting. Saber rushes him and breaks through his guard in a single sweep. She easily cuts at the man in the red. Saber raises her arm ready too, but before she's able to take his set, incredibly powerful magecraft causes him to vanish. Saber doesn't stop. She dashes right at the person standing behind the man in red, and effortlessly negates the potent magecraft they had unleashed. Wow, I knew she was strong, but this is just unreal. That was a sort of intervention magecraft way beyond anything I'm capable of. My old man might have been able to cast something with a bit of weight to it, but I'm not sure even a first-rate mage could just cast something so powerful at the drop of a hat like that. Even so, Saber nullifies the magecraft as if it were nothing. The enemy must be a mage, which means this match's outcome is decided. The mage's attack doesn't work on Saber, and Saber drives at them mercilessly. The mage fights back with a thud. The enemy miraculously dodges Saber's attack, but they can't move anymore. Ich bin gerade so überlegen. Ah nee. Nee, ich rede nicht weiter. Saber corners the enemy and levels her invisible sword at them. My mind freezes. Maybe it's a momentary glimmer of moonlight. But I see then that Saber is attacking a human. I can't tell who it is specifically, but the image of Saber killing someone, the blood staining her hands, suddenly fills my mind. Saber moves in. She is going to slit open their throat with that invisible sword. Saber, stop! I scream as loud as I can. Her blade stops cold. It's probably best for my sanity that I can't see her sword, but the tip of that invisible sword isn't wet with her opponent's blood just yet. Stop, I beg you, Saber. I glare at her as I speak. If I'm going to stop her, I need to prepare myself to give everything I've got to do so. No, Saber has absolutely no intention of stopping. She only stopped because I told her to, but she still holds her sword at the ready. I'm telling you, wait, you keep calling me master, but I still don't understand what's going on. If you're going to address me that way, then wouldn't it be right to explain yourself first? Saber doesn't answer. She just stands there, staring at me. We're going about this wrong, Saber. I don't even know who you are, but I will listen if you tell me, so please don't do this. Saber is silent. She still holds the sword at her opponent and stares at me, her lips downturned in dissatisfaction. Yup. Don't needlessly harm another? Well, yeah, it is better to avoid conflict as much as possible, but I'm not so soft-hearted as to feel sorry for someone who is attacking me. Huh? I'm talking about you. A girl shouldn't go swinging swords around, especially if she is already hurt. Oh wait, I don't even know if that's a sword to begin with. Anyway, you shouldn't be doing this. Der Gesichtsausdruck so, what the fuck? In that moment, Saber's mouth fell open in stunned silence. I don't know how much time passes with her just standing there like that. The person who had fallen into the ground speaks up out of nowhere. Saber instinctively grips her sword. Saber grits her teeth. But she lowers her sword, losing her grip a bit. She must have put the sword away or something, because she seems suddenly much less hostile. Whoever it was that has been on the ground finally stands. They act brazen as they pat the dirt from the bottom. Wait a minute. That's... You are Tosaka? Rin Tosaka replies with the biggest smile on her face. This is unbelievable. I don't know what to think anymore. The way she greets me so casually makes me question whether everything that happened was even real. Well, so you were the one who cast that magecraft earlier, which makes you... Good. Hearing her be so blunt about it makes me seem like the idiot here.
いいから話は中でしましょう。どうせ何も分かってないんでしょ、エミヤ君は。
As she says that, she walks towards the entrance to my house. Wait, Tosaka, what are you thinking? At that moment, when Tosaka turns around, her smile changes into something completely different.
バカね、いろいろ考えてるわよ。だから話をしようって言ってるんじゃない。エミヤ君、突然の事態に驚くのもいいけど、素直に認めないと命取りって時もあるのよ。ちなみに今がその時だと分かって。
She glares at me, and I can see actual animosity in her.
分かればよろしい。それじゃあ行こっか、エミヤ君のお家にね。
Tosaka walks through the gate. She seems really pissed. Well, I don't blame her. Just a moment ago she had a sword pointed at her, and she was about to die. But still, maybe it's my imagination, but I think the Tosaka at school and the one I see right now are completely different people. Ich würde sagen, an dem Punkt beende ich hier mal die Folge. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Mal.